Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. We're following up on our best co-op games so far video with a perfectly logical sequel, the best co-op game still coming in 2025. For this list, we really wanted to focus on games with actual dates between August and the end of the year. Sure, we could speculate about when some 1.0s might drop or when early access launches will magically appear, but we'd rather give you games that you can actually mark on your calendar right now. So the first part of this list is all about firm dates, rare as they are. After that, we're going to hit a handful of games that have a 2025 window, not TBA, not coming soon, but 2025, which, yeah, could definitely still slip, but we picked a few bangers worth keeping an eye on. Then we'll wrap it up with some quick honorable mentions for the games you might have forgotten about, but we here at The Bros definitely have not. That's the gist. We've got 5 more months of co-op goodness ahead, so let's jump right in.
Kicking things off was Dying Light the Beast, a game that once felt so far off but is now just a month away. Everything we've heard so far points to this being a major step up from the last game, with improved visuals, a darker atmosphere, tighter stealth gameplay, and yes, even guns. For a franchise built on melee combat, that might sound like a bad move, but early previews suggest firearms actually enhance the intense close quarters feel the series is known for. All of that sounds great, but the two changes we're most excited about are the addition of shared progression in a shorter, more focused campaign. While we had fun with Dying Light 2, its bloated runtime and lack of co-op progression really held it back. Hopefully this spin-off takes the right lessons from its predecessors, because we're more than ready to get back to slaying zombies and leaping off rooftops when Dying Light the Beast launches on August 22nd for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles.
Since this is a safe space, and if you've watched us for a while, you know we didn't grow up with Xboxes, I'll openly admit that Gabe and I have never touched the Gears of War series. I know. It's not just a classic shooter, but more particularly a classic co-op shooter. So we're genuinely excited at the prospect of finally going back to the original, with modern visuals and knocking it off the backlog before E-Day drops next year. Alongside the visual overhaul, you're getting the game on multiple platforms with cross-save and cross-play. Because while Microsoft might constantly trip over its own decisions, it does know how to make a modern online experience. And for the purists out there, yes, there's still local co-op too. Either way, we're stoked about this and really hoping to carve out some time to check it off the list this year.
Okay, look, maybe it's the copium talking, but we really think Borderlands 4 might actually be a return to form for the franchise. At first glance, sure, it looks like more Borderlands, but with a new setting, what sounds like much improved writing, and some smart gameplay tweaks, this already feels like a soft reboot. The gunplay we know and love is back, with even more variety thanks to modular weapon crafting that lets you mix and match pieces from different manufacturers. And yeah, okay, adding a grapple is just a cheat code to make your game better, that's just facts. If all this amounts to a great Borderlands game I can play with 3 of my friends via online co-op, I'll be perfectly happy with that. But hey, if I'm wrong, you can blame Andrew on this one, he wrote this part, totally not me. We'll find out together when Borderlands 4 launches on September 12th for PC, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo Switch 2.
Towa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree is a brand new roguelite that follows the titular Towa teaming up with 8 other guardians, both human and delightfully anthropomorphic, on a quest to save their village. And yes, I'm 100% calling dibs on the super buff koi fish, just getting ahead of it now. The action here looks super snappy, you know Gabe and I love a good isometric action roguelike, and this trailer is delivering on that front. I'm also equally intrigued by the RPG mechanics at the village, which look like it evolves as you progress through the campaign. The art style is absolutely killer, so basically this one is checking out a lot of boxes for us. With release dates getting thinner in the back half of the year, this one keeps climbing our radar, so that September 18th launch is looking real nice if Borderlands 4 doesn't deliver the goods.
Sticking with promising indie titles, let's talk Neon Inferno, a retro side-scroller meets gallery shooter with some absolutely killer pixel art. The game supports 2-player local co-op and puts you in the boots of Angelo and Mariana as you tear through the streets of dystopian New York City in the year 2055. Beyond the flashy visuals, this one packs some slick mechanics like a bullet time system, tough as nail boss fights, and some seriously cool set pieces. I mean, put me on an Akira-style motorcycle and I'm sold. On top of that, the game features multiple difficulty options, including a 1-credit clear arcade mode that sounds equal parts brutal and awesome. If that sounds like your kind of chaos, you won't have to wait long. Neon Inferno launches on October 2nd for PC, Switch 1, and both current and last-gen PlayStation and Xbox consoles.
Another ongoing bit that longtime viewers will recognize is Gabe's never-ending quest to torture me with horror games. The word bit makes it sound like a joke, but I promise you it is very real, and Little Nightmares 3 is all the proof you'll need. I hate everything about how this looks, but I know it's a much beloved series and the new team behind the third entry is going all in on co-op. So I'll put on my big boy pants and make it happen. This time you play as 2 distinct characters with unique combat abilities. One is geared for close range and the other for long range, which I'm sure will factor into puzzle solving and the inevitable heart-pounding chase sequences. It's worth noting that this one has been delayed a few times already, but that new October 10th release date is the perfect landing spot for maximum spooky factor. Wish me luck, I'm gonna need it.
Indie teams continue to bring the heat, with one of our most anticipated titles being Marvel Cosmic Invasion, coming from Tribute Games and publisher Dotemu. After Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, a follow-up beat-em-up starring a massive roster of Marvel heroes feels like a dream come true. What really sets this one apart is its tag team system. You'll select 2 heroes per level and swap between them instantly to chain together devastating combos. The game encourages you to mix and match characters to discover creative team-ups, which sounds like a blast. With gorgeous pixel art, a killer soundtrack, and a playable roster that includes deep cuts like Nova, alongside icons like Spider-Man, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is shaping up to be something special. The game supports 4-player co-op both online and locally, and is due out later this year across all platforms, including the Switch 2.
If Cosmic Invasion is Dot.Emu's chance to use a popular IP to recapture that Shredder's Revenge magic, Absolum is their shot to prove they can make their own magic with a brand new IP. This fresh spin on the beat-em-up genre has you and a friend teaming up as the outcast heroes of Talam to take on the evil forces of Sun King Azra, in what the devs promise is top-tier action mixed with modern roguelike elements. It took me about 2 seconds to decide I was all in, and if you're watching this trailer, which obviously you are, I'm sure you're going to feel the same way. Absolum has already been previewed by several major outlets, and not one has a bad thing to say. Sure, there's no firm release date yet beyond the vague 2025 window, but I'm giving it a solid 50-50 shot for this year. Fingers crossed the gaming gods are on our side.
If you've been following the channel this year, you already know there's one indie title we can't stop talking about, and that is Dunecrawl. This is a 4-player co-op action-adventure game where you and your friends explore a vast desert atop a massive crab-like vehicle called a Dunecrawler. You'll discover towns, pick up quests, and battle other crawlers, all while managing your own. The devs compare the experience to Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime, with one player steering and the others manning weapons or handling other tasks atop the crawler. We actually got a chance to preview it earlier this year, and piloting the crawler was just as fun as it looked in the trailers. Outside traversing the desert, on-foot combat felt solid both up close and at range, and while we haven't seen too much of the RPG gear system yet, it looks promising, letting you outfit your raiders with stat-boosting armor and various range and melee weapons. All that's missing now is a release date, but fingers crossed we see it hit later this year.
The last title we'll cover before honorable mentions is none other than Witchbrook, which is currently promising a winter 2025 release, but we're gonna see if that holds. This one has been in development for longer than I can remember, but after finally seeing the first true trailer, I get why. The world looks absolutely gorgeous and feels like it'll help Gabe and I make up for the fact that we never hopped into Stardew Valley, a similarly cozy life sim just without the whole Harry Potter inspired wizard school vibe. In Witchbrook, up to 4 players can team up to make new friends, find love, and study their way to graduation at this magical academy. The village itself is full of life too. NPCs all have their own daily schedules that shift over time with the seasons, so the world really does feel alive. And when you're not hitting the books, you can run your own little businesses, tend to your garden, or blow off steam at the arcade. I mean, yeah, this is literally pixel art wizard Animal Crossing, and we are so here for it. Whatever spell Chucklefish needs to cast to make this one drop on time, my Switch 2 is ready and waiting.
As promised, here are some quick honorable mentions in case your wishlist isn't packed to the brim just yet. Ritual Party is another chaotic Overcooked-like, but instead of managing a kitchen, you're managing a cult. Here, the goal is for you and your friends to summon Cthulhu before the cops shut it all down. With 4-player local co-op and hilarious vibes, it's looking like a great addition to any future game night. No release date yet, but hopefully it lands later this year. Up next is Chained Beast, a 4-player roguelike where you're not only fighting to survive in a gladiator arena, you're also doing so while chained together. With both online and local co-op, this looks like the kind of chaos we love here on the channel. Definitely one we've got our eye on. Forgotten Fragments is a 2-player local co-op puzzle platformer featuring great pixel art and a unique sphere swapping mechanic at the core of its level design. It's set to hit Steam sometime this year and is shaping up to be a clever puzzle co-op game. And finally, we have Tears of Metal. This one's basically a Braveheart simulator with hack and slash roguelike gameplay and 4-player online co-op. The game sees you and your crew lead a Scottish battalion in a brutal fight to reclaim your homeland. We actually got hands-on with the recent beta, it left a strong impression, so here's hoping a full launch isn't far behind.
Alright guys, that is all for this one. Hopefully between this and our video covering the best co-op games of the year so far, you've got plenty of new co-op titles to keep you and your crew busy. But if you're looking for older gems too, make sure to subscribe. We've got a huge backlog of co-op recommendations ready for you and your friends to dive into. And if you really appreciate all the work Gabe and I put in, consider joining our Patreon for some extra perks. Huge shout out to our current patrons for making all this hard work worth it. As for what's next, we've still got our monthly for July coming up and maybe a review of My Co-Punk right around the corner. I'll be out of town for a bit, so expect that monthly to land either a little early or a little late, just probably not right at the end or the start of the month like usual. Either way though, we'll catch you all on the next one.